S-E-R.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ma'am. What is your current occupation?
I am a forensic scientist with the Michigan State Police in the biology unit, doing body fluid identification, and I also respond to crime scenes.
In your capacity to respond to crime scenes, what specifically do you do in that regard?
I respond to crime scenes and I process the scene for any sort of evidence that may be probative to the incident.
How long have you been employed in that capacity?
I have been with the state police since 2018. I have been a forensic scientist since 2021, and I've been responding to crime scenes since 2018 as well.
Were you employed in that capacity in January of 2025?
Yes, I was.
All right. In that capacity, did you have cause to go to an apartment on Pinehurst in the city of Roseville?
I did.
26069 Pinehurst, is that where you responded?
May I check my report?
Would that help refresh your recollection?
Yes, it would.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Thank
Review it silently to yourself.
Yes, that is the address.
Do you know the apartment number?
It was the second floor west apartment, but I don't know the exact number. Apartment 202.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, what were you called to that location to do?
We were called to that crime scene to process for blood evidence.
Do you have any training as it relates to the collection of and identification of blood evidence or suspected blood evidence?
I do, yeah. I work in the biology unit in the lab. So we had a year-long training program, which consisted of lectures, readings, practice samples, mock cases, as well as practical examinations, which I passed all of those. And then crime scene aspect, I did a few month-long training program and then went to a crime scene schooling, which I passed as well, which all included processing for blood.
Do you have any education, formal education as it relates to this in addition to the training that you received through the Michigan State Police?
I do. I have a bachelor's degree from Marygrove College with a concentration in biology.
What is that degree in?
Forensic science with a concentration in biology.
Thank you. And in your capacity as a forensic scientist for the Michigan State Police Crime Lab, have you ever had an opportunity to testify in court as an expert witness in that field?
I have, yes.
You've been tendered as an expert?
I have, all times, yeah, fine.
Your Honor, at this time, the people would move to tender. Oh, I'm sorry, let me do it this way. Do you recognize this as well with Mark for identification purposes as People's Proposed Exhibit 183?
Yes, this is my CV.
Fairly accurately depicts all of your education and everything else that you've done as it relates to this field
It does.
professionally. Thank you. Your Honor, people move for admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 183.
Your Honor, I have no objections for purposes of exam only.
That's the curriculum.
Yes, permission to publish to the court.
Yes. It will be admitted.
Thank you. And at this time, Judge, I would tender Ms. Grusser as an expert in the area of forensic science, specifically as it relates to biology and blood identification.
Your Honor, I usually would just, say that's fine, but I haven't had an opportunity to really go over her CV. It was just handed to it this morning. And I would just like to ask her a few questions while I'm
Go ahead.
going through this, if that's possible. Is your expertise just in identifying whether or not blood is human versus animal?
No, our blood tests are presumptive, meaning other things can cause positives. We test for blood and then we send that sample forward for DNA processing, and then they can give a DNA profile.
Okay. I guess that was kind of leading to my next question. I take it if you collect evidence that you believe is blood evidence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you collect it, you process process it, but you don't take part in the actual identifying that as to the blood belonging to a person.
We do have a test specific to humans. However, we only use that test in cases where there may have been an animal involved in the incident. So in this case, I did not do human blood testing. I collected samples. We sent it to the lab for another biologist to process and send forward for DNA.
Okay. So you wouldn't be here to testify about DNA or the identification of any blood that you particularly processed as belonging to one person or another?
Correct. Yeah, DNA is outside my area of expertise.
I have no further questions, Your Honor, and yeah, for the purposes of examination, only stipulated that she's an expert in everything.
Well, Steve Franklin.
Thank you. Please describe what you did then when you arrived at that apartment 202 on Pinehurst in January.
Yes. So once we get to the crime scene, we meet with the officers to discuss case details and what we might need to be processing for. Once we got there, we did our general documentation, including notes and photos. And then we went into the crime scene or the place of interest.
Let me interrupt you for just a second. When you say we did this, we went in, who were you with that day?
Sorry, yes. On my team, we had two other individuals, forensic scientist, she was a forensic technician at the time, Olivia Hall, and then forensic technician, Natalie McElroy. So we all went into the scene, did our general documentation and photographs, and then after that, we went outside north of the Hampton Apartments to a dumpster where we did additional processing.
All right. Why were you called to a dumpster north of the apartment?
Case details that we received from the agency said that a subject was seen on video leaving the apartment building following this specific trail that they walked us through to this dumpster, and he was pushing a shopping cart which appeared to have large items inside of it. So we were called to the dumpster to process it for blood evidence.
All right. I'm going to show you what's been already entered into evidence, several exhibits. So let's start with exhibit 74, will be on the screen here. What is this here, ma'am?
That is an image of the dumpster that we processed.
Was that yellow tape on it when you arrived?
It was, yes.
Was the dumpster being guarded by anyone, or was it simply left alone?
There was someone from the agency there.
Agency meaning the Roseville Police Department?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go to 75. What are we looking at here?
This is another image of the dumpster.
And now 76. What are we looking at here, ma'am?
This is an image from inside the dumpster on the floor of the dumpster with apparent red-brown staining.
Where is that red-brown staining?
If you see the tin foil and styrofoam, it is on both of those items as well as next to it.
Bottom left corner of this photograph?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. When you see that, what do you do?
Once I saw that, we went inside the dumpster, or I went inside the dumpster, and I tested the sample for blood. We used a two-step chemical test that turns pink if positive for the possible presence of blood, which it did. And so from there, I collected a sample of the blood on the dumpster floor, as well as collected the tinfoil and the styrofoam from inside as well.
When you say you went inside the dumpster, like you stuck your hand in and reached in?
I fully went inside the dumpster from the other side so that not to contaminate anything.
So you were standing in the dumpster?
I was, yes.
You said you collected a sample. How do you go about collecting the sample?
I use a sterile swab and I swab it up onto the swab and then I package it securely.
How do you make sure that it's not contaminated in any way?
I put it directly into the product wrapper that I removed it from and then immediately package it right away. between the time that it was put there and me responding, I can't say whether it was contaminated or not, but
I understand. I guess my question is, how do you make sure that your sample itself is not contaminated?
we wear protective equipment both for ourselves and for the evidence, including gloves, booties, and masks sometimes as well.
You've been trained on all the proper protocols on how to collect evidence such as this?
Yes, I have.
And did you follow all of those protocols in this particular case?
I did.
77 is just another view of this, but we see these placards. Did you place these placards here, ma'am?
I did, yes.
All right. What do those placards indicate?
Those indicate items of evidence that I was collecting. So, placard 1, I took a swab from the apparent blood on the floor of the dumpster, and then placard 2 is the tinfoil and styrofoam which I packaged together.
All right, I'll zoom in on that. Is this a little bit better on 78?
Yes,
Show a little
it's
bit better.
yes, it's a closer image.
How big of an area was this approximately?
It was approximately a 10-inch squared area of RBS on the red brown staining on the floor of the dumpster, and then there was some staining on the items, the styrofoam and the tinfoil. I did not measure that because I assumed if it was being processed in the lab that they would measure it, and then once I removed the tinfoil and the styrofoam, there was blood underneath it as well.
Now, you indicated that you initially did a test to determine if this red-brown staining was blood. What type of test is done?
It is a blood test. Do you want the name of it?
If you know it.
Yes, it's phenolphthalein. It's a 2-step test. You put a drop of phenolphthalein on it, followed by a drop of hydrogen peroxide, and if it is positive for the possible presence of blood, it turns pink, which in this case it did.
Do you retain that test in any way, shape, or form after you conduct it?
I didn't in this case. We can. I didn't because there was plenty of sample for me to swab the same exact area and get another swab of it.
Once you swab this area and you collect it, what's done ultimately with that swab?
I packaged it, sealed it, put it on the truck in a secure location, and then once it gets back to the lab, we put it in a secure location as well.
You also label it, I'm guessing?
Yes, of course.
Once you completed your duties inside that dumpster, what do you do next?
Next, we went back to the Hampton Court apartment complex, and we went to the second floor apartment building or apartment and processed it for a blood search as well.
So that's apartment 202 again?
Yes, it is.
When you say you went there to process it for a blood search, how do you do that? What are you looking for specifically?
We look for red brown staining. So first we do it with the naked eye using bright oblique lighting. In that case, I did observe some areas of RBS that we tested and collected as well.
And again, RBS is red brown staining.
Yes, it is.
All right. There's a stipulation, Your Honor, to exhibits 128 through 182, I believe, for purposes of exam.
Those are photographs.
Yes.
128 through,
182.
no objection for purposes of
Never
examination.
again.
Thank you. At this point, so we have exhibit 128 on the screen right now, ma'am. What are we looking at here?
This is red brown staining on the wall. I believe this is in the hallway of the apartment leading towards the bathroom. You can see markings on this image that I made, and then there's a P next to it, which stands for positive for that phenolphthalein test that I spoke of earlier.
When you say the markings that you made, we have sort of reddish brown markings, and then there's the blue markings. Which ones are the ones you made?
The blue markings, yeah.
When you have an area like this that has a P next to it, what do you do with that sample then?
I
Or
tested.
what do you do with that area then?
So these are all samples that I tested for blood, which were positive, and then I picked a representative sample to send to collect and send forward to the lab. That sample being the middle one with the scale next to it.
And how, again, you collect that in the same manner that you collected the one you've already discussed?
Yes.
Now, in 129, what do we have here?
This is an image of another area of red-brown staining on the closet in the hallway. This one was also positive for apparent blood, and I collected this sample as well.
When you collect this again, same manner,
Same manner.
did you have to do anything different as it relates to, or are there different methods? Let me ask it that way, to collecting samples of this.
It's pretty standard for us to just swab it. If it's an item that can be removed from the apartment, we might just collect it rather than swabbing it. But in this instance, we did swabbing. I did swabbing.
Thank you. All right, now, Exhibit 130, what do we have here?
This is another area of red-brown staining.
Do you remember where this was?
It's close up, so I can't entirely remember. I believe this is in the wall near the bathroom.
We see the writing on there, weak P, and then another P
Yeah.
on the bottom right. Can you describe or explain what those are?
Yes, both of the P's mean it was positive for the presence of possible blood. The weak P just means that it was a fainter reaction, meaning instead of like a bright pink, it was more of a faint pink color.
I want to be clear about a couple things here. We're looking at a screen. Are you able to really differentiate some of the red-brown staining on this screen?
On
that you
this
saw?
screen, I can't entirely see it, but I think closer up images might have been taken.
And so it would have been visible to your eye when you were there?
Yeah, the naked eye, yes.
All right, so close up now with 131.
Yes.
Are we able to see that area that was in 130 a little bit better?
Yes,
Did you take that sample?
I did.
Now 132, what is this, man?
This is the cabinet or the counter for the sink in the bathroom of the apartment.
Vanity?
Yes.
And again, what are we looking at?
2 areas of red-brown staining.
133?
Yes, this is a closer-up image of one of the areas of red-brown staining. It has multiple circular stains, which I also collected for the lab.
Thank you. Now, 134, what are we looking at here?
This is in the bathroom as well. That's the bathroom door, the exterior side of the bathroom door, and the floor both had areas of red-brown staining on them, which were positive as well.
Did you collect samples from that?
I did.
135, just a close-up of that area?
Yes.
Now, 136.
This is the toilet. There was some red-brown staining on the toilet. There's a scale next to the stain, which I collected as well.
And then we'll zoom in on that on 137.
Yep, it's visible, and the P stands for positive for blood.
Thank you. 138.
This is another image of the bathroom, just with the door closed now. You're seeing the interior side of the door, which you can see in the bottom corner of the door. There's a scale where there was an area of red-brown staining, which I tested. It was positive, and then I further collected.
So the naked eye there, were you able to notice any sort of blood or anything on the vanity itself on top?
Yeah, on top, there was some faint red-brown staining on it. We didn't test it right then and there. We wanted to do another chemical test later on, so we waited for that. But there was some visible dilute staining.
Thank you. And then you were talking about the corner of the door when you closed it. Is this just a close-up of it in 139?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. And even further close-up in 140
Yes.
and 141?
Yep, just closer up.
Thank you. And again, 142.
Yes.
Now 143, what are we looking at here?
So this is an image of the bathroom, specifically the tub shower area, after we did a test called LCV, or leucocrystal violet. That is just a blood detection reagent that we use to find latent blood that you cannot see with the naked eye.
How would latent blood show up with this LCV?
It causes a chemical reaction in the blood to turn a purple color. So
How do you get this chemical? How is it sent to the Michigan State Police?
we order the chemicals in powder form, and then we measure them out, store them on a truck properly, and then once we get to the scene, we make it into a liquid form. Application is just spraying it with a fine mist.
How can you be sure that the mixture that you've made is accurate and will give you the results that you want?
So before we use it on evidence, we do a quality assurance by testing it on a positive control sample and a negative control sample, and we ensure that both of those respond accordingly before using it in a scene.
And was that done with the LCV in this particular case?
It was.
So now as we look at 143, why did you choose this back area to spray with that mist?
We sprayed the whole bathroom. Actually, I think there's more pictures of it later, but we chose the bathroom, the tub specifically, and the sink specifically because those are areas where latent blood might be found because it can mix with water, become more dilute, and therefore harder to see with the naked eye.
So what is it that we see here then of note?
So in the tub, it's a little difficult to see because of the blue tile, but if you look, there is some purple, it's like a blue violet color discoloration on it, and that is the developed blood that we found using the LCV. It's on the top of the bathtub lining and then like on each wall.
And we'll have some more pictures as we go forward, but were you able to see any of this latent blood with your naked eye before spraying the?
There were some areas of very dilute that we were able to see with the naked eye, but not to this extent.
Let's go to 144. Again, are we seeing that purple here?
Yes, you are. Yep, it's all on the lining of the bathtub as well as going into the bathtub.
145.
Just another image closer up. You can see some of the purple color development on the tiles in between them as well.
Can I have you just step down and maybe show the court where we're looking at
Yes.
on this one here?
So you can see the purple discoloration all right here as well as up on the wall. I think there's some better images later on in here, but there's along the window right here on the side right here, as well as this whole area right there.
Thank you. When you say this area right there, you're specifically pointing to the area where the tub meets the walls.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, now as we look at 146.
This is another image of the bathtub. More so the wall in there as well. You can see the violet development on as well.
Just right of center of the
Yes.
screen on that wall, and then again where the tub meets the wall.
Yes.
Zoom in on that on 147.
Yes.
On 148, we're looking at the front of the area of the tub.
Yes. You can see some purple development right on like the bathtub underneath the spout, as well as going into the bathtub, as well as on the wall or the tiling above and below the handles.
And then zoom in on 149 again to see that same area.
Yes.
150, a little bit different angle, but still the same.
Yes. You can see some purple discoloration in the corner of the bathtub on like the left hand side of the image.
Now 151.
This is an image of the wall, the shower wall just below the window. There's a scale on there. That's an area that I swabbed and collected.
And that's in the very dead center of this photo.
Yes, it is.
I know it's not really on this screen, it's difficult to see, but that scale is showing staining of sorts.
Yes.
Let's zoom in then to 152.
Yes, that's a closer image of the staining that was in the last image. That area I swabbed and collected for biology.
Now, when you swab an area that's already had the LCV applied to it, does that affect your ability to collect that evidence at all?
No, it doesn't. We're still able to collect it and send it forward for DNA processing.
153.
This is just a zoomed out image of the bathroom. It shows some staining on the outside of the bathroom tub, on the wall to the right of the image, and then there's some staining on the floor as well.
Let's zoom in on some of those now. 154. Judge, I don't know, is it possible to turn these lights off? Because I obviously what I'm seeing on my screen is not what's appearing on this TV, so I don't know if these lights are washing it out. I want the court to have its best ability to see this, but
I can see it already.
Okay.
I can't tell.
and obviously we'll have it available for the court to view on
I
this leisure as well.
can see it.
All right, thank you. What are we looking at in 154, Ms. Grusser?
This is the bathroom floor. It's a little difficult to see in this image because of the gray tile and the TV, but the floor of the bathroom, the entire floor, developed with purple after spraying the LCD.
155.
Just a closer up image towards the front of the toilet and on the toilet as well.
156.
Just a different angle.
Directly in front of the toilet.
Yes,
And then a zoom in on that on 157.
yes,
Again, even closer on 158.
yes.
159.
Yes, this is an image of the bathroom floor and then the shower walls. And then if you look in the bottom right corner of this image, you can see some purple development on that wall as well.
Officer, can you turn the lights off? Just, it may be more apparent, but it seems to me that it's very apparent.
The only lights that are not off are the ones.
Yeah, those
that- And on that, you were saying on the bottom right corner by this grate, what were you saying about that?
That has purple development from the LCV application.
Sorry, which exhibit is this one?
This is 159, Judge. All right, and then 160.
This is an image of the toilet. You can see some development right beside the toilet, right next to the tile. It's kind of in the center of the image.
And then on top of the toilet as well. Maybe you can't see that.
It's hard for me to see, but I do recall there being some there.
161, and zoom in on the top of the toilet.
Yes, Yep.
Okay, we can see it there.
yes.
162. What do we have here?
That is right beside the toilet on the wall. There's purple colored development.
Again, sort of a zoom out.
Yeah, it's difficult to see in this image, but it kind of goes up the wall a little bit more as well.
And that's in 163. Yeah, can you, is there,
Do you want-
you can't really tell, but do you know how high this goes in the photo, or do you
In
remember?
this photo, I can't recall. I believe,
If you could set, if it helped you, you can set that one.
about to here-ish.
So about 3/4 of the way up,
Yes,
center of the screen where the tile meets the wall?
yes.
Are you testifying? You can see that because I cannot.
I can see it. I recall it, and I can see it in this image.
It may be because of the light.
Yeah. And Judge, you'll have 163 to view at your leisure.
Thank you.
It'll be a little bit better than this. 164 is a close-up now of where 163 was,
Yes.
where you were pointing about 3/4 of the way up.
Yes.
Can you sort of see it there now on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it. It's right in the center.
165, what do we have here?
This is the opposite wall from the toilet. There's purple color development going about a foot up from the floor for the majority of the wall, but then near the bathtub shower area, it goes further up about a little more than 3/4 up the wall.
Q 166.
Just a different angle, same image, or same area.
167.
That is the same wall we were just looking at with the bathroom door closed. You can see the purple color development further on the wall behind where the door was, and then on the floor as well.
168.
You can see the purple color development on the floor in front of the bathroom door.
Starting now, turn to the door straight on
Yes,
in 169.
yes, that's this image. You can see the purple color development on basically the entire bathroom floor.
170.
This is an image of the sink and the vanity. There's purple color development on the vanity and as well as the light switch.
Light switch to the left there.
Yes.
And 171.
This is just a different angle of the same area. And then you can see some on the floor there as well.
172.
This is an image of the sink area straight on. There's purple color development on basically every side of the sink.
173.
This is an image of inside the sink. You can see purple color development going into the drain.
174.
This is to the right if you were facing the sink, and it's purple color development.
175.
This is to the left of the sink if you were looking at it straight on, purple color development.
Now we're going to 176.
Yes, this is leading out of the bathroom. You can see that there is some purple, bluish color development on the carpet leading out of the bathroom.
And 177.
Just further out of the bathroom, but there's purple color development there as well.
78.
This is leading into the hallway from the bathroom. There's purple color development on the floor.
Is this the same hallway that we started your inside the apartment testimony with? The swath on the wall that was exhibit 128?
Yes, yep.
179.
This is the hallway. You can see purple color development on the carpet.
And again, same hallway that was in 128, 129 in that area.
Yes,
In fact, we can even see on the left.
I can see on the left, like by the door,
Yeah, what's on that door that you can see?
the closet door.
Yes.
I thought you were speaking about.
Let me try to zoom in on. Can you see the closet door here?
Yes.
What is that? That area that I'm circling in the bottom left corner.
I'm not sure from this angle. It looks like red brown staining to me.
Well, can you maybe if you step down? Maybe you might be able to see a little bit better.
Sorry, the image just went blurry.
Yeah.
No.
Let me ask you here. If you look on my screen, does that help?
Oh yeah, that's the area that I had previously tested of red brown staining that I was able to observe with my naked eye.
And that's some marks those are the marks that you made.
Yes, yes it is.
They're visible in this one.
Yes.
180.
This is the hallway leading towards the bedroom of the apartment. You can see purple discoloration on the floor.
181.
This is the area between the bathroom, the closet, and the bedroom. There's purple discoloration on the carpet.
And then 182 is our last photograph here.
Just more purple discoloration in the hallway.
Once you,
Do you have any more exhibits? If not, we'll.
no, I don't. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Once you complete the LCV spraying and examination, what do you do next?
After that, there were a couple areas of the LCV that we collected. You were able to observe one of them with the scale in the bathroom.
That was one underneath the window?
Correct, yeah. There was a couple of areas of ridge structure that developed in the LCD as well.
What is ridge structure?
Ridge structure pertains to fingerprints. That's outside the area of my expertise. The forensic technician Olivia Hall was there. She was in latent prints at the time. She took images of those, and then I swabbed it after the fact to collect the LCD positive area.
And then ultimately, what are done with those samples? All the samples that you collect.
All of the samples that we collect are taken back to the lab and then put in secure storage until they are ready to be processed by the specific disciplines.
What discipline will you be sending these swabs of suspected blood or presumptive positive blood to?
Biology. So another biologist in the body fluid identification section of biology would process those samples first and then send them forward for DNA processing.
So there's still 2 more tests before we get to DNA.
Potentially, yes. In this instance, I think some of the samples that we collected ended up being returned to the agency unprocessed because they had other evidence submitted. But I did not take part in that processing.
After you do that, what else do you do while you're on scene?
After that, I think at that point we were done processing the scene. So at that point we discussed with the agency what we observed, what we needed from them, and then we took the evidence back to the lab, put it in secure storage, and then within a few weeks we wrote a report and sent it out.
Just one, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. No further questions from this witness.
Mr. Lyon?
Okay.
Can I help you with something? Or?
Just the dumpster first.
You want that? Hold on. I'll get it up.
Inside.
You want outside or inside? All right, Rob, I'm going to put 77.
So I take it when you see this, you first take photographs, you put placards down so that you can identify through the photos what places you took samples from, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, did you have to, you said you test these at first to see if they are blood, correct?
Correct.
And that's the phenolphthalein?
Phenolphthalein.
Phenol.
Yeah.
Can you spell that, please?
Yeah, it's PHENOL. PHTHELEIN.
So that's the test you say kind of confirms that it's human blood, correct?
That test is not specific to human blood. That is just for blood.
Just blood. Okay.
Yes. If it were human blood, If we needed to test it for human blood, that would be done back at the laboratory. In this case, I don't know if it was or was not done at the laboratory, but in this instance, at the scene, I tested it for pheno only, just to see if it was blood, so I could collect it.
And you said when you test it, you basically swab it first,
Yes.
and you said you put it into some type of solution.
No, I didn't put it into a solution. I put a drop of a solution on it, followed by a drop of another solution.
Okay. So the solution is the
Phenolphthalein, yes.
And you said when it's positive, it turns the blood that you swab, or the suspected blood that you swab, into a bright pink color?
Yes.
All right. And do you keep that testing material or photograph it to preserve that, yes, this particular sample that I took tested positive, and here's the photograph of it turning bright pink?
We don't do that, no.
Or you don't keep the swab that turn bright pink?
Correct. I did not keep the swab. In this instance, there was plenty of sample for me to swab in the same area and get more of the sample to collect.
Okay, and then you don't save it because there's enough sample to then have it tested at the lab to see if it's human blood. Is that the rationale?
Correct. Yeah. We don't do another phenolphthalein test at the laboratory. At that point, they would test it for human blood if they suspected that it could be something other than human blood. But most of the time, we just send it forward for DNA processing at that point. If it was sent to DNA processing and it wasn't human blood, then I don't believe that they would get a DNA profile from it.
Okay. And you said this area was approximately, 10 by 10 inch by 10 inch area of blood on the floor of the dumpster.
Correct.
Okay. Did you you collected samples? Did you do any kind of test or measurement of the amount of blood that you found?
There's scales in the image which we use to measure the amount. If you're talking volume of blood, then I did not do that.
Okay. I guess, yeah, I see your scales in terms of size, but in terms of volume of blood, you don't do any testing for that.
No, there's nothing that we can really do for that. In this instance, it's spread out. We can't test the volume of blood. We don't have any training in that. I don't know that it's possible in this instance either.
All right, so we don't have any idea of how many milliliters of blood were in the dumpster, correct?
Correct. I can't speak to that.
Which one do you want? Which thesis do you do? Just tell me, John.
Just back to the blood spots on the hallway, closet, etc.
This one? 128?
That's fine. We can start here. Okay.
Which one
So
is that?
128, John.
Thank you.
So now you have marked that you collected samples of what you believe was blood on the hallway wall, correct?
Correct.
All right. And those are tested again with the phenolphthalein.
Yes.
I pronounced it wrong, I'm sure. But,
It's okay. We say pheno in the lab if that's easier.
okay. And so, again, I would take it that everything you have marked, whether it's in the hallway or the bathroom, with a P and a scale,
Yes.
is something that you tested with the pheno, correct?
Correct. And then there's additional areas that I have marked with a P, meaning it was tested, but I did not collect those areas. If it has a scale next to it, I collected it, yes.
Okay, so you collected that for further testing
Yes,
at the lab.
to be sent forward.
So anything that is marked with a scale, that's a collection.
Yes,
Anything marked without a scale, even if it's listed as P, wasn't collected, but you did the pheno test to show that it's positive for blood.
correct.
Okay. Now, would I be correct in stating that all these samples of blood that you saw with your naked eye and tested in the bathroom or in the hallway or on the closet doors or bathroom door were tiny in nature, minuscule blood drops?
I guess it depends on what your definition of minuscule is. I was able to see with my naked eye, we have the measurements of them. Whether that speaks to it being a lot of blood or a little blood, I can't really say. But they were small stains, but there was many of them.
Okay. And are you able to tell from either your expertise at looking and collecting the blood how old the blood stain is?
Unfortunately, we can't date blood.
So you don't know whether that blood was there, how much time before January 7th that it was there?
Correct. I can't tell when it was deposited there.
And that goes in terms of days, weeks, months, or years, correct?
Correct.
Now, when we talk about and let me back up, with regard to these drops of blood, you're not an expert in terms of determining how those stains of blood got to those locations, be they on the floor, the tub, or the wall, correct?
Correct. I can only speak to it as if they test positive or not for blood.
Now, when we talk about the LCV, the spraying of, you say here it's leucocrystal violet.
That's the full name, yes.
Okay.
But we also call it LCV.
Okay. And am I correct or not correct? Is luminol kind of like a brand name or a similar name to that?
Luminol is similar in that it tests for latent blood. It's different in the application and how it's processed. So for LCV, you can do that in this room right now as is. Luminol, it needs to be in a dark room because it fluoresces or chemiluminesces. And it's not a fixative, so it kind of like will spray the luminol and it can kind of flow down the wall, whereas LCV fixes to where the staining is only.
So now when we go through some pictures of the luminol,
LCV.
I'm sorry, the LCD.
Yeah.
With the bathrooms.
You want to start there, or do you want?
You can start there. So when you first apply this LCV, are you saying that you sprayed every square inch of the entire bathroom, the walls, the tile, all of the fixtures?
We did not spray the ceiling, but we sprayed mostly everything else, yes.
And when you spray that on, does the wall stay clear if there's no blood whatsoever on a wall and we spray this LCV on it, it would just soak into the drywall and stay white or gray or whatever color the wall is?
Correct. There would be no color change.
Okay. Now, from my view of the photographs, there looks like there's kind of blue markings and then purple markings.
LCV turns a blue-purple color. The intensity of the color might vary based off of like how dilute or non-dilute the latent blood may be. In this case, also, I think the TV might be distorting the color a little bit as well.
I guess I'm just gonna see if I can approach you with a couple of these photographs, and which numbers they are, I don't know, but they're obviously all been entered into evidence. And I'm just trying to determine if I may approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Which is it?
Give me a second, Jack, I'll tell you. I think one of them is 159, is that?
Slightly different angle. Yeah, wider angle. No, not that one.
I'm not sure which one you have there, Robbie. I know, I didn't use all of it.
Either, I mean, it's not that crucial in terms of numbering. I'm just asking, what I'm seeing in my photos is
Okay.
that some of this is blue, some of it does look purple.
I see what you're saying. To me, whether it's blue or purple, it's positive for LCV.
Okay. Being positive that there's some blood there.
Yes.
Okay. I also see this, like running of the color, like it's dripping down the wall or it's dripping down the bathtub.
Yeah, the flow. Yes.
And is that like there's an absolute trail of blood, that all of that running is blood, or is it there's a spot of blood and the LCV being, I'm assuming, wet, it eventually turns a color and starts running, gravity takes its course and starts running down the wall of the tub?
It could be that we oversprayed, but in my opinion, looking at this is LCV positive areas. If there was an abundance of LCV sprayed, to where it kind of like pooled and then flowed down, the purple color change would have happened because it came in contact with the latent blood. So some of this might be flow from down the wall, but the majority of this is LCV positive reaction.
Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to determine.
When it could also,
So here, in both of these pictures, I'm looking at, say, right at where the tub meets
right,
the first piece of tile and the grout there. It looks like that's somewhat of a fair amount of concentration of purple, correct?
correct, yeah.
Okay, and below that, I see these streaks,
Yes.
like I've poured something on it and it runs down like a heavy syrup would or something and all running through the tub.
Yeah. It could also be that the latent blood there flowed down, or if it was diluted with water, if that was moved around and wet, that could have flowed down, which caused the purple color change reaction as well. This all is positive reaction. This is as well. The darker streaks might be flow, but overall, this entire area is positive for LCD.
You're saying that some of this is maybe from the overspring and it flows down, gravity does its work and it flows down. It doesn't mean that there was some blood that ran down the wall or down the tub.
It could mean either.
Okay, could be either, 50-50.
Yeah.
Okay. I noticed that on the wall, in the dry wall, there doesn't seem to be as much of the runoff. Is that because the drywall soaks it in
Yeah, it's
better
more
than the
absorbent.
tile?
Yeah.
And were you able to do any type of, I see that in a lot of these, LCD places and pictures that there's no scales.
Yeah, we don't put down scales for it. When I would say the majority of the walls, the floor, all had LCD positive areas, which the scale wouldn't really help. Our scales are like 5 inches, right? So
Okay, but you don't measure it.
we didn't measure.
And
No.
you don't scale it or take a sample of any of the stuff that lights up purple?
I took 3 samples
Okay,
of the
can you show me
LCD
where
positive areas.
those 3 samples are? It might not be on my picture.
It is on this picture, actually. It's right underneath the window in the shower. And then the other 2 images, I don't think you showed them up close, but you can see in this corner scales as well from areas that were photographed and collected as well.
And this photo is just for the record, Spirit, to 159 on the screen.
Yeah, so I think, and one of them might be 2, so I'm gonna look. I'm assuming you're, on that photo, there's 2 spots that you took samples from?
Yes.
Are those 2 scale markers?
These are 2 scale markers. Yes, those areas were the areas where my teammate found ridge structure, and I swapped those after she did her photographs.
Those weren't blood droplets?
They were ridge structure in the LCD positive area.
Okay.
So yes, it was.
So those were blood samples?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, those were more of the drop type blood sample?
It wasn't a blood drop. It was it looked the same as everything else, kind of smeared, but then there was like ridge structure in it.
Okay. And there was one up toward the
Correct.
front of the tub?
Yes, I swabbed that as well.
Okay, so same thing.
Yes.
Correct. And I take it you, again, can't measure that or date it, correct?
Correct.
And when I talk about measuring, I'm talking about volume.
Correct.
Now, when you looking at the wall photograph, if I cut myself in my bathroom and, whether it's shaving or whatever, and some blood drops on my sink or on the floor, if I just leave it there and you come into my apartment or house, a week later and being a single guy, I'm not the most clean freak. That might be visible to the naked eye, right? On my tile floor, there might be a blood drop.
It
correct?
could be, yeah.
Okay. If I then try to clean it and I wipe it off and think I got the whole thing, but you put the LCV on my floor, might it very well show some purple spots?
Yes, it could show some purple spots. I wouldn't think like a shaving cut would cause that much blood in this image, but it would turn purple. Yeah.
And all of the red blood stains or red brown stains that you saw,
Mhm.
all of those with the naked eye that you saw were tiny blood drops, correct?
They were smaller, yes. Yeah.
I'm looking at, for instance, the drops that you marked. I think there might be 5 of them. Almost looks like the Big Dipper or something. Those are drops of blood.
I wouldn't call those drops of blood. I would call those possible spatter stains. They're circular staining. Drops of blood look a little different than that, but
To the record, I'm sorry, so the record's clear. Exhibit 133 is what council is showing us.
And there's some drops, and you're not a blood spatter expert, correct?
I have been trained in bloodstain pattern documentation only, so that's all I can do. I have not been trained in anything else.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I have that on that's the vanity, right?
Correct.
And if I try to wash that off, that could possibly leave a spot where the LCD would catch that and it would look, purple, correct?
Correct.
But it wouldn't look purple on it wouldn't be the same pattern of purple, correct? If I tried to take those stains off my vanity and didn't do a great job of cleaning it, it wouldn't be 5 spots that look like the Big Dipper on the wall after it's sprayed with LCV. Wouldn't it show as like a smear?
Yeah. Correct.
And if I had a blood drop or a couple blood drops from a cut or whatever on my tile floor, and I didn't clean it up or didn't do it right away and walked over those blood drops with my shoes, wouldn't that also lead later? Or, being lazy, I take my shoe, I rub it, and okay, the blood's not there anymore. But wouldn't it show up maybe on LCV from me walking out of the bathroom or onto my carpet?
Yeah, it could transfer as a pattern, or there was purple coloration or purple development on the bathroom tile floor as well as in the hallway carpet. So yes, it could.
Okay. So when we look at the carpet, LCV, purple, would you agree with me that very possible could come from blood on somebody's shoes?
It could, yeah.
Okay. And again, that can't be dated or measured in any way, correct?
Correct.
Now, when you talk about these ridge structures, you're trying to you're taking those as samples to try to like get a fingerprint, right?
Yes, my teammate did that. Yes.
Okay. And do you know, even though you're not involved in the, I guess, analyzation of the ridge structures or comparing it to known fingerprints, correct?
Correct. I've been trained in fingerprint processing for crime scenes only, but as far as the analysis, comparison, any of that, that's outside the area of my expertise. Yes.
Do you know if those ridge structures were good enough to be compared to known fingerprints?
That's outside of my area of
Okay.
expertise.
You don't know that. I'd have to ask that of somebody else, right?
Correct.
And that would be the same that I think we established before about the blood, whether it was drops, whether it was from LCV. You don't have anything to do in the comparison or analyzation of those pieces of blood in terms of matching it to individuals.
Correct. So I have been trained in bloodstain pattern documentation, meaning I can say this blood stain looks to me like a spatter stain or a drip stain. As far as its analysis in the lab for BPA, bloodstain pattern analysis, that's outside of my area of expertise. And as far as the DNA processing goes for who that blood may have come from, that is also outside of my area of expertise.
Fair enough. And I would be correct in stating, I mean, you, in your report, you list all of the items that you actually tested or collected with, you know, kind of item L1, L2 through L21, correct?
Correct. All of those items are items that I collected. Additional stains that I tested were not listed in that because I didn't collect them.
And I would be correct in stating that this list basically includes things you took from the dumpster, correct?
Correct.
And the stuff from the bathroom
Correct.
and the hallway and doors nearest the bathroom, such as the door, actually the bathroom door and the little hallway door on the same side of the wall as the bathroom door.
Correct. Yep.
There's no blood samples taken from the carpet, correct?
Correct.
No blood samples taken from anywhere else in the home, correct?
Correct. We did collect some boots from the living room, a washcloth to be tested further back at the lab, but we didn't do any testing on scene.
Is there any type, this LCV pick up any amount of blood that was ever spilled onto a floor, a bathtub, tile, or even a wall or door, no matter how much you cleaned it off?
It depends on how well you cleaned it. If you cleaned all of the blood, then it would not turn positive. If you didn't clean all of it, then it would turn positive.
I have no further questions.
Thank you. Mr. Whitecomb?
Yes, let me show you, ma'am, well, let me show you first. Give me one second. Let me show you what's been marked for identification purposes, People's Exhibit 127. Do you recognize this?
Yes, those are a pair of boots that we observed in like the living room area of the apartment 202.
And you collected those boots?
Yes, we did.
They're fairly and accurately depicts the boots that you collected?
Yes.
People would move for admission of 127 as well, Judge.
No objection.
And will be admitted.
Now, let me get back to question about 165, 166. If I cut myself shaving, would I anticipate this much positive LCV on the walls opposite of the vanity, on the walls of the tub, on the side of the tub, and on the floor
I would not expect that much blood.
from cutting myself shaving?
Correct.
You said earlier that the overspray. Let's go. Let me go back to 150. 153. Yeah, let's go to 153. I'll zoom in just a little bit on it. Mr. Lang was asking you questions about the drips into the tub here on 153.
Yes.
You see those?
I see them.
He asked you if it was 50-50, whether or not that was hitting on actual blood that went that path, or whether or not it was just cast off or runoff. Do you remember that?
I recall that.
All right. Do you think it is legitimately a coin flip, or is that?
I don't know that you can put a percentage on it. If there was blood pooling at the top, which it looks like there might have been because you can see the dark line, when trying to be wiped off or cleaned off, then it could have flowed down the bathtub, therefore causing latent blood to be there, which turned positive. If we sprayed a lot, and let's say the pooling was just on the top, and we oversprayed because the tile and the bathtub is not absorbent, it could have flowed down and turned purple because it came in contact with blood. So there's no way either way. There's no way that I can tell which it is for that.
All of this purple though that's on the front of the tub, that's positive. That's not a cast off or runoff.
Correct.
All of it that's on the side of the wall or on the floor, anything like that,
Yeah.
that's not runoff.
That appears to be staining.
The only one that might be is this small area that's on the side of the tub.
In my opinion, yes.
You've been trained on how much to spray?
Yeah, we spray. I mean, we just need like a light layer of mist is all it takes to get a positive result. So yeah, I've been trained.
And you sprayed according to your training?
Yes.
No further questions, right?
No further questions.
Thank you, Ms. Grusser. You missed it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Please watch your step.
Thank you.
It's 10 to 12. Who is your next witness? Mullen.
Executive West Grants, a long period of time.
Long period of time. All right. We'll break for lunch. Come back at. Let's be ready to go. Well, before I say it, Officer, please. Do you know what's happening with the other people?
I don't know. I believe they were going to leave, but I'm not.
Can we approach first?
Yes.
Hey guys. Okay. So y'all know we got our good old TiVo time. I'm glad y'all understand what she's saying. You good, Alexa Rose? I'm like, I don't know.